Hi, this is Elizabeth, Business Librarian at Western Washington University. This is a video on how to use Mergent. We're going to look at how to look up a company, do a basic search, how to build a competitor report, and also how to find some industry information as well in Mergent. We're going to start with just kind of going over this main screen. When you look at this screen, you're going to see different types of data that is listed. There's US company, an international company, both active, and then also the same for inactive. Active means currently traded on the stock exchange, on a stock exchange. Inactive means no longer being traded. Inactive means a company could have gone out of business, could have become bankrupt, went from public to private, or was absorbed into another company. So if a company was purchased by another company, they would be listed as inactive on that day that they no longer, the day that the last day that they existed as a company. Mergent does also include some private company information. It is limited. It's not every private company, and it's not the default. So if you do want to look for private companies, you do need to select it. I'm going to look for Starbucks. If you've watched any of the other previous videos, I've been using Starbucks as an example. So we're going to look for Starbucks Corp. This is the main kind of the business synopsis. Basic company information here, contact info, directory type info, and then a summary here. Every tab that you see listed is available, and then underneath each tab there are subsections, different categories. This is a synopsis. There's a section on highlights, history, and you see, and if it's below the screen, but if you keep going, there's actually a timeline for history, business property, subsidiaries, all kinds of information. Now, if you go back to the synopsis up here, you'll see some more directory type information. Now, if you remember, if you did watch the other videos, we looked up the NAICS code. Now the NAICS code is right here. They have two. There's an SIC, which is Standard Industrial Classification, and NAICS, which is that North American. SIC is actually no longer active. NAICS is probably going to be the most useful. But if you remember from previous search, if we come back to the census, $722,515, was that right? Yes. That was the coffee shop. They list themselves as a limited service restaurant, 7222211. Now, I did a little research, and this is actually a 2007 census number. I don't think it fits with the 2012 NAICS classification, but within in the 2007 NAICS classification, there is a section for non-alcoholic and snack bars, which is where coffee shops is. Companies give themselves their own NAICS codes. So gives you an indication of where Starbucks sees themselves. They see themselves more as a limited service restaurant. That's who they see their competitors as opposed to a coffee bar. In my research, am more interested in the coffee shop aspect of it. So as I research, I will probably stick with that 7222515 coffee house, coffee shop type classification. But these are the little things that kind of give you an idea of who your company is and how they see themselves. So if we keep going through this, we'll see, again, executives, and then underneath here, ownership. You'll see information on insider trading, institutional holding, company financials. This is one of Mergent's strong points. They have historical figures going back. If they go back 15 years, they may go back farther. Then you can do quarterly and annually. And reports are going to be annual reports, SIC filings. I'm sorry, these are going to be SIC filings. News related to pretty much things come out on a newswire type situation. One of the things they have here is they have a list of competitors. This is really nice. Now, I have actually gone through this a little bit and changed it. Normally, when you would come in and look at this, you'd see a whole big list of restaurants, McDonald's, the Yum brands, which is like Pizza Hut, and this and that and whatever. I went through and built a report based on who I think the competitors are based on my previous research. So I have Tim Hortons, Dunkin', Krispy Kreme, and Einstein. I could go through if I wanted to include more. Oops. If I wanted to include other restaurants like McDonald's, I could do that. I'm not going to. I just want to stick with these. And if I scroll down, I'll even be able to see a little bit of news information. I can add them all to a company analysis list. Click on that. Once you click on that link, it brings you to a different page. You have all the companies you selected. I want all of them in my report. And then from here, I can select the parts of Mergent that I want included. If I wanted the synopsis, I can look at company financials. Look at private competitors, news, executives, and then I would just create a report. You can create a report as HTML, PDF, that type of thing, and then you create the report from there. I'm back to Mergent. So that is a way that you can look at your competitors, and you can build those competitors based on who you want to look at, not who the database or even the company necessarily thinks as their competitor. So that allows you to customize what you're looking at. In addition to this and to competitors, if you look at equity pricing, you can look at some index. Under reports, these are going to be some SIC filings. You see they have, this is the 10K, the annual report proxy. It's in addition to what they have under here under SEC filings. In addition, Mergent has, so this is the annual reports. They also have industry reports and equity reports. Now the industry reports are just that. They're going to be the reports that, the reports that Mergent sees as the most relevant. Industry reports in Mergent aren't anywhere near as specific as some of our other databases like IBISWorld. They're a little broader. So you see they're food and beverage, but they are international. So you can download and take a look at the reports. So this is Europe. The reports in Mergent are they're financial based, so they are going to come from a financial standpoint, and they are going to be a little broader. So that will be a little different than what you might find in IBISWorld or a marketing report. We also have equity reports. Equity reports are in it's an analysis. It's an investment analysis of Starbucks. So should you or should you not invest in Starbucks, buy stock? This is a really good way to see, how a company is doing. These are short, they're to the point, and it's also a good way to look at your competitors. If you're not supposed to invest in a company at a certain point, what is that saying about the company? But it is also coming from an outside perspective. It's not coming from within the company. They come from forward equity. And so you can see there's earnings strengths, relative valuation, and then also it gives you some historical. And then it compares, has some information on the competitors. You can also look up the same type of reports for all of your competitors. So using Mergent, you can get information about a company itself. You can use some of the things that you'll see here, like the NAICS codes. You can see how Starbucks sees themselves. You can also build competitor reports, look at equity reports, and look at industry reports. The equity reports are also available in a database called Investor's Edge. It's also a Mergent database, but you can get to them directly from Mergent. You don't need to, under reports, you don't need to leave Mergent to get to them. So that is a very quick overview of Mergent. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help.